Okay, all right. Yeah, so my name is Dewan. I'm actually the director of code, and I'm going to give this workshop on Node.js. And we're going to learn how to build a web application with Node and Express. So what is Node and Express? Well, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. Basically, it allows you to run JavaScript on your computer or a server. Normally, you're used to seeing JavaScript run in a browser, um, and that's client-side JavaScript. So Node takes care of what is called server-side JavaScript. Express.js, on the other hand, is a Node framework that makes it easier to build web servers. So Node comes with a bunch of tools to do a lot of stuff. It comes with the tools to build a web server, but Express kind of abstracts a lot of that. And that's what we're going to use today. Okay. Uh, So I don't want to really spend a whole lot of time in a PowerPoint or slide or anything. So we're just going to go ahead and get started coding. So I'm going to show you the app that we're going to be building. It's very simple. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. I just wanted to show you the basics of Node and Express. Basically, it'll give you the COVID-19 numbers by country. So if I type in United States of America, they give you the flag, the country, the population, number of cases, number of deaths, and number of recoveries. If I type in the United Kingdom, same thing, but you see the numbers are different. So that's what we're going to be building. I'm not focusing on the client side, so I do already have the React um, website built for you all. You will just need to fork it so you can use it on your own. So let me change this really quickly because everyone's URL here will be different. So what you're going to do is I'm going to post this in the I'm sorry, the Zoom chat. I'm going to post this link in the Zoom chat. If you have code Sandbox, which you should, because we've been using it for all of our web dev workshops today, uh, then you'll be able to fork this. So basically what you're going to do, I'm going to sign out so you can see what it would look like. Okay. All right. So I've signed out. And basically, once you click that link, you're going to click this fork right up here, and it's going to fork it to your profile. So you want to keep that open, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to right click on this box right here, open link, a new tab. And you want to create a sandbox. And the sandbox we're going to be creating is going to be the Node HTTP server. Is everyone able to follow along? Please stop me if you have any questions. Oh, okay. If you are not able to follow along, please post a message. I'll try to keep this up here. Let me do this. That way I can see the chat. All right. So basically, this came with a lot of stuff that we don't really need. Okay. Yeah. So you have I've posted the link to this sandbox in the chat. You click that, and then you click fork. And then that's going to allow you to edit that file on your own. Then you're going to right click the box icon right here. Right click that, open a new tab. This is on This is on codesandbox.io. So you right click that, you open a new tab, and then you click on this blue button that says Create Sandbox right at the top, or it's right here in the middle too. You click that, and then you click Node HTTP server, this one right here, and then you'll be where I am right now, which is right here. Okay. All right. So so everything that's in here is a basic Node web server. We're going to delete all this and we're going to install Express so we can build our own web server. And like I said, it's going to abstract a lot of the stuff here. All right. What happened? I guess I have to fork this. Oh, no. Oh, and then it's going to ask me to sign in with GitHub. So I'll sign in. All right. But I'm going to close this, close this, close this. I'm just going to copy everything and then delete it. And here you see we have a button called Add Dependency. So within Node, there's something called a package manager. The package manager for Node is called NPM, which is Node Package Manager. It's very unique. Basically, it allows you to add code, already existing code, to your project. And so we are going to add a dependency of a package called Express. So if you click there and you just type Express, we're going to click this one that pops up here, 54.2 million installs. All right, so we're going to click that. And it's going to go ahead and install Express for us. All right, you see saved lock file done in two seconds. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to just start our basic server. So to do that, we're going to call in Express. So to do that, we create a variable, const Express equals require Express. So require is importing Express into our project, and we're setting the value that's returned from this import to a variable called Express. Right now it's underlined red because I haven't used it, but it is available for us to use. Now to use it, what we're going to do is we're going to create another variable called const app equals, and this is we're going to make app the instance of Express. Okay. If you guys are having trouble or anything, please post a message in the chat. I'm able to see it right now. So yeah, so we have a variable called app, and then we have Express. Now, in order to see something, we need to create a route. So if you've ever been to any website before, let's do Twitter. I don't know. So when I go to Twitter, it automatically takes me to this route, which is called /home. Okay. Now, in order for us to do that, what we need to do, so let me come back here. We're going to type app.get, and this like / represents home. But so when you go to any website and you just put in the domain, it's going to be the first page that you see. We're going to need to use a callback. So we're going to create another function inside this method call. So let's comma request response. Now, whatever I type in here is going to change what's shown here. So I'm just going to type in my name is the one. All right, so now it's going to restart. Let me redo it for it. We had trouble connecting to the server. That's not good. Let's see. Oh, I know why. Because I didn't add a port. That's important. You need to add a port in order to see your server. So we're going to create a port with a variable called const port, and we're going to set it to 3000, which is kind of like the default. Actually, we're going to set it to 8000 because we have a React that's going to probably be running on 3000. And to listen on this port, we're going to have app.listen port, and then another callback. Console.log. Listen port. And you see it popped up with my name is Dewan. So I'm actually going to close this really quickly so we can get back in here. Refresh. My name is Dewan. Okay. Does anyone have any trouble? Is there any way to make the text bigger? For my, you mean for this? Hold on. Can I close this? You mean for like my this? Is this big enough? Yep. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. All right. If you have any, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. So basically, we've now created a route on the home page. Right now, it's just sending the text, my name is Dewan. So in here, we can actually write HTML. So if I do H1, then it didn't really seem like a big difference because it was already in H1. But let's do H2. Actually, it wasn't in H1. That's weird. Can you, yes, sorry. So it's app.listen, parenthesis port, comma, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, fat equals console.log, and then this message. You said refresh it? Okay, let me refresh it. Yep, there it was. If you're not familiar with this syntax right here, this open parenthesis, close parenthesis, fat equals, and then whatever this is, the message, it's called an arrow function. If you were in my JavaScript workshop, I didn't get to it because there's a lot of other things that I wanted to get to. But this is a very common way of creating a function. All right. Okay, so that's our web server. It is up and running, but it's not really doing anything. And we kind of do want it to do stuff. So to change that, we're going to actually pull in data, okay? And so the first thing we're going to pull in is if you see, it's gone now, but on my original app, you would see the flag, the name of the country, and the population. Well, that comes from an API. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Basically, it allows you to plug into data from another source. And we are going to be using two APIs in this project. One API is called REST Countries. The other API is a COVID-19 API. So I'm going to pull up the REST Countries one. Just a second. And basically, this API gives us a lot of data related to countries. Yeah, it's very interesting. So if you were ever interested in reading up on it, I'll go ahead and post a link in the chat. You don't really need it right now, but yeah, this is what we're going to be using to get like the flags and stuff. So a specific API we need is or the specific endpoint that we need is called name, because APIs have endpoints that lead to different resources. So if I click on name, you'll see it gives you some like estimated things. So if I click on this, I click ignite it, I open this in a new tab. Basically, it's going to give me a JSON representation of all the data of all countries that have united in the name. So we have U.S. minor outlying islands, Tanzania, United Republic, United Arab Emirates, so on and so on and so on. But you see, it gives us a lot of data. We're only concerned with the name. What else? The name, the population, and the flag. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this right here, and I'll post this in the chat so you guys can have it too. Okay. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to have to add some more dependencies. So the next dependency we're going to add is Axios. Axios basically allows us to fetch data from other sources. Now there is a JavaScript API called fetch that does the same thing, but I like using Axios, so that's what I'm going to recommend you guys use. All right, so we've added that dependency. Another dependency we're going to need is something called CORS, which stands for Cross-Origin Resource Scripting, something else, I don't know. Basically, it allows us to have a client and a server interact with each other. And it's very important because if you don't, and you try to call your server from your client without CORS, you're going to get a CORS error, and that's a bad time. So we're going to add CORS also. And I think that's going to be it for this part right now. Those are the two that we needed. So we're going to have to import them. So to import CORS, it's just const CORS equals require CORS. And Axios is going to be const Axios require Axios. Okay. And again, the only reason why these are underlined is because I have to actually use them. So we are going to go ahead and use CORS right now. So to use CORS, what we need to do is we need to do app.use. Now, because we are going to be sending data through JSON, we are going to need to parse it. And to do that with Express, we need another type of middleware. So Chorus is a type of middleware. We need another type of middleware that Express comes with. So to use it, we're going to do app.use express.json. Okay. All right. And so that's going to be really helpful for our for what we're using. So now we're going to create another route. And this next route is different from the get. It's actually going to be a post. So in HTTP, there are several different methods. There's get, there's post, there's put, there's delete. I think there's patch, and there's a couple of other HTTP methods. We're not going to talk about HTTP in depth, but I will try to provide some resources in the JavaScript or Node channel after we're done with this workshop. Okay. So to use post, we're going to do app.post, and then the route is going to be /API. We have another callback, so request response that equals. All right, and so what we're going to do here is we're just going to simulate as if we've had a request come in. So we're going to do const country equals United States. Okay. And then what we're going to do is actually, I should make this function in a sync function. A sync is something completely different that we also don't really have time to discuss, but we're going to use a sync because we're going to await whatever we get back from Axios. And so to do that, we're going to do const data equal await Axios. And then that URL that I posted in the chat, actually, I'm going to change this into a template literal. And so we're going to replace this part right here with the name United with $country. Okay. All right. And then we're going to do this at the bottom. We're going to send back the data in the form of JSON. To do that, we're going to type res.json data. Now, actually, no, we can console.log it. So let's just do res.send. And then we're just going to console data. Okay. And we close this so we have more real estate. All right. I was trying to get it, that's why. So I'm trying to figure out how I can show you guys this. Just a second, I might have to stop sharing my screen and share my desktop. Hold on. Okay. All right, so you guys should see my desktop right now. If you can't, let me know. basically, I'm going to open up a tool that we can use to test our routes. You guys don't have access to this, and I don't recommend you download it right now because we're not going to be talking about it that detail. I just want to show you how we use it. So let's do this. All right, so basically Postman, like I said, it allows us to test our routes. All right, so you see I made a post request to the API. We got data back. And if I look in the console, pull this up, you see I got all this back. Of course, yeah, you see I'm getting like the name and all the information that we need. Can everyone see this? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and continue then. But basically, I'm just showing you guys that how I can test this and make sure that we are actually getting the data that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and close Postman because we won't need it anymore. So yeah, that's how we will be able to get our data and then return it. So I'm actually going to create a variable up here. We're going to call it country. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that because what I want to show you guys is that even though we were able to get the data back, we need to be careful in the instance that we actually don't get data back. So to do this, what we're going to do, let me delete this, is we're going to wrap this in a try block. So we're going to try. And then catch. Okay. So in the case that we don't get data back, we're able to throw an error to the console. So the user or whoever's using it knows what's going on. All right, so let's move on to the next section. So we've seen that we've already gotten one endpoint, one source of data here. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next source of data, which is going to be the COVID statistics. And so what I'm going to do is we're using a request parameter right here. And request has a property on it called body. So that means when something is sent to the server, it is sent onto this property called body. And we're going to destruct an object from the body called country. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, because I was trying to finish all the materials for the workshop, I came up with a really clustered way of getting the country that we needed. So I just created this. would not recommend you guys do this in an actual project, but it worked, so that's why I'm using it. So here we are destructuring the data that we need off of the object that is returned to us by the Axios await. And with destructuring, we can rename the variable because in another instance where we're going to destruct the data that we need off of the COVID-19 statistics, we don't want multiple instances of the name data. So I'm just going to call this data country data. And then the API that we're going to be using for the COVID-19 data, let me find that. I just, not this one. I believe it's this one. Yeah. So view documentation. Oh, I see some comments. Yes, sorry, I didn't see that. All right, so the data that we're using for the COVID-19 came from this API. So if you guys want to look at that, you can, but I will give you the specific link that I used, and it was country total, I believe. Yeah. But I'm actually going to copy it from my repository. All right, so this is the actual link that we used for the API. It's very long, I know, but I'm going to show you where I used it at exactly. So we're going to have another await call. So let's do const data await Axios. Okay. And it's basically going to, this is what we're going to use for the data that we need for each case. All right, now to compile all the data that we need to send to the client side, we're going to create an object. And this object is just going to be called country object. In here we have name, population, flag, confirmed, deaths, recovered. All right, can you guys see that? All right, now inside name, going to be country data 0 name. We're going to copy this for these other two right here that are from country data. Flag. I'm getting some errors because I didn't put colons in front. So let me do that here. You can't see this is what I'm typing right now. So for confirmed or getting the data from cases or from case data, 0 dot confirmed dot deaths dot recovered. So basically we are getting all the data into one object, and we're going to send that object in an array. So to do that, we're going to do response dot JSON array country object. And as simple as this seems, this is caps sensitive. Yeah, so confirmed, deaths, and recovered are case sensitive because the data that we're pulling from, that's what they named it. But name, population, and flag, they are lowercase because that's how they're named, like you see here. You see name is lowercase inside the data for country data, okay? But these, I mean, you can name the keys whatever you want. You don't have to name them name, population, flag, confirmed, deaths, and recovered. As long as you remember what you named them, the keys can be whatever you want. Okay. All right, and let me save that. All right, that's actually going to be it for Express and Node and everything that we're trying to learn here. This is our entire web app, web server. But to use it, we need a client, and we need to call the data from within a client. So if you can see here on Code Sandbox inside the browser, you have the URL right here. Your URL will be different from my URL, and my URL will be different from your URL. So make sure you copy your URL in this window right here. So we're going to copy it. Now, if you kept the tab with the client side open, then this should be easy for you. Or this will be really simple. We're just going to take that link and then we're going to paste it line 15 where it says fetch. We're going to paste it right up to here. So before the /API, that's where we're going to paste it. And actually added another / so you can delete it. All right. So we're going to paste it right here. All right, now I've done everything already for the client side, but I can walk you through it really quickly. Just a second. Basically, we have a React application. So if you were in the React workshop, some of this might seem familiar to it. Basically, we have a use state where we are getting the data from the server side, and we're setting it into a state variable called country. And then this function right here, handle submit, basically when the user types in something and submits, it'll handle the submit for them. So this is where we're getting the data from the server side. We're using fetch. Like I said, in JavaScript, like I said earlier, there is a JavaScript API to fetch specifically. I used Axios in the Express side, but you can also use fetch on the other client side, and you can use them interchangeably. It doesn't matter. I just decided to use fetch here. Here we have the method post, the content type, which is application/JSON, the body, which is JSON.stringify body, and body. I basically created an object of country with the key of country and the value of the input value of this input field. And basically, I'm waiting for the response. Once I get the response, I translate that response to JSON. And then once that response is finished translating to JSON, I set the country to the data that's returned. And if those fail, anywhere if that fails, we get an error, then I'll console log an error. And beneath that is just some JSX of the entire website. So if you guys have followed up with me up to this point, where do we get the file? Let me change the fetch link. What file? Because you should be getting the link from your Express server. I think she's referring to it. Oh, if you don't have your fork saved, so have you already? So you're in app.js and you've added the fetch and you've added the link to fetch from your server, right? No, I don't see app.js. Oh, so all right. Were you able to fork this earlier? Let me see. Go up. All right. So did you go to that link and click fork up at the top? Because if you didn't, you might need to do that. Because that's where app.js is. It's in the React side. You know, I'm going to try to. Oh, you got it? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So yeah, basically, once you change the link to your server, remember to your server is different, and you saved it. Now all we have to do is put in the name of a country. So now you will find that if you try countries with more than with less than 2 words in them, it won't work because I didn't program it that way. But if you do countries with 2 words in them or more, then it'll work. It's no issue with the data. It's just how I programmed it. So there, I typed in United States. I got the flag, I got the country, I got the population, the number of cases, the number of deaths, number of recoveries. So now if I just type in, I don't know, yeah, see, it's not going to populate. But if I do United Kingdom, populates. But if I go back to the Express, I'm now back in the Express server. And if I remove this split country, I change this to country. If I change this line to just country instead of split country, and then I come back here and I type in Jamaica, you see I get Jamaica's information. All right, so that is it for our workshop. Did we get done early? I don't know. But if you guys have any other questions or anything, I will still be in here. I'm gonna post the code and any slides in the Node server or Node channel on Discord. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for coming or staying up so late.